Hey, my YouTube friends. So today I wanted to talk about enhancing your audience engagement during a live stream. Now, usually when you do a live stream, you have your chat window and you have your video stream. But what I like to do is whenever someone actually says something that's interesting, I like to overlay those chats on my live stream video itself as a lower third, right? So today I actually wanted to dive right into this application called Social Stream Ninja. Now, Social Stream Ninja does a lot of things, right? But its main purpose is to consolidate all your live stream platform chats into a single window and then allow you to increase that audience engagement by overlaying certain chats, or you can overlay all on your live stream video, right? So let's actually dive right into it. What I'm going to talk about is how to download and install Social Stream Ninja, and I'm actually going to play around with the different things that you can actually do with Social Stream Ninja, right? So let's dive right into it. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is go to socialstream.ninja, right? That's the website, and you'll actually be presented by this page. Now you can scroll around and look at the features of Social Stream Ninja. It's got several different features: multi-platform chat integration, feature chat overlays like I was talking about to increase that audience engagement. Then it's also got some bot commands. You can actually have an AI bot work with your chat. And then you've got AI integration, like I said, text to speech, and it's got a powerful API as well that you can use in different applications such as streamer bots, so on and so forth, right? But let's actually go ahead and go to downloads. And there are two types of ways to run Social Stream Ninja. You can actually run it using the browser extension, or you can use the standalone app, right? Today, I'm going to demonstrate how to install and use the standalone app, but we will get into browser extension as well later on. They both have their advantages and disadvantages, work slightly differently, but actually at the end perform the same function, right? So let's actually go ahead, select the standalone app, and then select the download for your operating system. Today I'm using Windows, so I'm going to go ahead and download Social Stream Ninja for Windows, right? So when you do that, it's going to bring you to the latest GitHub repo with the latest update. Scroll down where you see assets, right? And then go ahead and install the appropriate version. Now look, they've got an installer zip for your Social Stream Ninja. They've also got a portable one. I've not used the portable one before, but I have used the installer. So that's what I'm going to download. They've got a version for ARM as well, for Mac, and Linux as well. That's great. But let's actually go ahead and download the installer zip. Now this file, it's a decent size. It's 303 megabytes. It's going to take a little bit of time to download. So I'll be right back once the actual file goes ahead and downloads. Guys, now the file has actually downloaded, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and open the downloads folder. It's right here. Now it is in zip format. So I'm going to go ahead and right click. I'm going to say extract all. When you do that, it does actually, if you're using two screens, it will go to a different screen. So I'm going to switch to my second display. I'm going to say extract all, and it will actually extract right into the downloads folder as well. It's really straightforward way of installing it. Double click on the file, and it's going to give you this warning. Don't worry about it. Hit on more info and say run anyway. And when you do that, it's going to present you the installation. Now, look, I usually just say anyone who uses this computer, go ahead and install it for that, or it's just me using it anyway. You can select either, whatever's more comfortable for you. I go ahead and say anyone who uses this computer and go next. And I'm going to go ahead and install. There we go. So now Social Stream Ninja has installed. It did struggle a little bit over there. I'll need to identify why, but that's fine. Look, I've installed it, and I can go ahead and say finish, and it's going to automatically run Social Stream Ninja. Now, as you can see, I do have two sessions in here already. I'm going to try and remove these sessions. There we go. So once you install Social Stream Ninja, you will be presented with this screen right here. It does give you some information about Social Stream Ninja and how to use it, how to get going. I'm actually going to demonstrate Social Stream Ninja with two platforms, right? So Twitch is my main streaming platform. So all you need to do, the first thing we want to do is to add sources. So in order for Social Stream Ninja to capture your chats from your multiple platforms that you're multi-streaming to, you want to be able to add those sources into Social Stream Ninja, right? So the first one that we're going to do is Twitch. Once you click on that, it asks you for your username. So the username for me is MediaTech Live. That's my Twitch username. I'm going to just add it in there and press OK. And as you can see, it's gone ahead and added my MediaTek Live Twitch channel into Social Stream Ninja. Now, there are a couple of things that you'd want to do once you add it in. The first thing you want to do is sign in. Now, since I'm already signed in to Twitch on this computer, it's telling me that, look, you're already signed in. Do you want to keep the session or do you want to sign out? So I'm just going to say keep the session. It will open up Twitch in a browser. And as you can see, I'm already signed in. That's perfect. We can close that window. So now that I've closed that window, what we want to do next is activate the source. So when we activate the source, it brings up the Twitch chat, right? So that's great. That's what we want, right? So the way Social Stream Ninja works is that it does require the chat windows in the browser mode to be opened, right? So this is open, but I can go ahead and press cancel on that, and it's gone ahead and it's not closed it. What it's actually done is minimized it. So there's a little tab over here that allows you to toggle between the Twitch chat, right? So you can actually toggle to open it up and then toggle to actually minimize it. So it's still open, but it's just hiding in the background, right? So that's Twitch. And so we've gone ahead and added Twitch. Now the next one that I want to go ahead and add is kick.com. I do stream to Kick and all sometimes. So I'll go ahead and press Kick. And now my username in Kick is called MediaTek. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and type it in, press OK, and there you go. Similar fashion, it's added the source. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to hit sign in, and I'm already signed into my computer, so I'm going to say keep session. It's gone ahead and opened up Kick, and I'm going to go ahead and log in. All right, great. So I've actually gone ahead and signed in into Kick, and you can go ahead and close that window out. And now I'm signed in. I want to activate my source. So now that I've activated my source, just like with Twitch, it's gone ahead and opened up the chat window for Kick. I can close that out, and look, it's not actually closed out, it's just hiding in the background. So now we've got Kick and we've got Twitch. These are the two platforms that we're going to multi-stream to, for example. So we've got both those. Now, what's the idea of using Social Stream Ninja? The idea is to be able to consolidate all my chats into a single window and then be able to actually enhance that audience engagement where I can overlay my chats, right? So now the first thing we want to do is go ahead and consolidate all my chats into a single window, right? So now, as you can see, on the right hand side of Social Stream Ninja, we've got the first one is a streaming chat. That is the consolidated chat for all my platforms. All right, so there are several things that you can actually do to customize this chat, right? As you can see over here, there's several drop down menus. What we're going to do for now, we're going to keep things extremely simple, and we're just going to go ahead and not customize anything at all, right? We're going to go ahead and just open up the chat window. So now once you click that, this is the Social Stream Ninja chat, right? That you can actually go ahead and dock in OBS if you wanted to, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment, but I want to demonstrate how this chat actually works. So this is my chat, and technically, if I open up my Twitch chat, for example, and I say, hi chat, when I do that, the chat actually shows up in my Social Stream Ninja chat as well. So I've actually got, so when anyone chats in Twitch saying, hello there, it's going to actually display directly in Social Stream Ninja, right? So that's one way where you can see your Twitch chats. So you can actually keep this closed, and if anyone chats in here, it will automatically show up in the Social Stream Ninja chat, right? Now the same goes for Kick. Since you activated Kick as well, I can go ahead and open up Kick and open up my Social Stream Ninja chat. And as you see, when anyone chats on the Kick chat, it also shows up in Social Stream Ninja. It does give me the icons as well, so I know that this chat is from Kick and the other ones above are from Twitch, right? So that's great. That's really what we want. We want everything consolidated into a single window. Now, what you can do over here is I can respond to all my platforms saying, hey, chats. I've gone ahead and responded to Kick. So it showed up over here. It showed up in Kick as well. And because I sent the message to Twitch as well, it showed up over here. So as you can see, if I go and open up my Twitch chat, there's the message that I actually sent to Twitch, right? Perfect. So you can message all your platforms directly from here, and you can receive chat messages from all your platforms in this consolidated window, right? That's great. So that is how you consolidate all your chats. And if you have questions on that, please comment in the description and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions on consolidating multiple chat platforms into Social Stream Ninja Chat. Right? Great. But now what we want to do is we want to take it a few steps further and we want to get into audience engagement, right? So this is all great, okay? But what if you wanted to overlay this chat in your live stream, right? So I actually use OBS. So I'm going to go ahead and open up OBS, and I've got OBS open up right over here on my other window. Now, to use OBS and to overlay the chats, what we can do is go back to Social Stream Ninja, and we're going to customize this a little bit, right? So the first thing what we want to do is overlay all the chats onto OBS. So the first thing we want to do is when we overlay, we don't want the menu bar, right? Like as you can see, we've got this menu bar, and I don't want to actually overlay and have this menu bar on my live stream, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and first thing we're going to do is hide the menu bar. All right, that's the first thing we're going to do is now we're going to go ahead and when we say overlay, and we're going to go ahead and select dark mode. So a black page background, that's what I'm going to select. And message mechanics, you can actually go ahead and auto hide the messages after a certain amount of time. I'm going to leave it really simple. I'm just going to leave all the messages here because we're just testing. And there are several other features as you can see, right? So you can go ahead and explore this and ask me any questions that you want, and I'll go ahead and help you out in the comments below. However, I'm going to keep things extremely simple for this overlay. I'm going to minimize this, going to minimize the overlay. And now once you've done that, everything is browser based, right? Everything is WebRTC based. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this URL, say copy link. Going to move to OBS. Now, look, this is basically a portable version of OBS I'm using for this tutorial, but I'm going to go ahead and add. So you would do this in any sort of OBS situation. You may have your camera over here, right? And I'm going to go ahead and add a browser source. I'm going to call this chat overlay. Now we're going to give it a height and a width and a height. So I'm going to decrease this width to about 600. And this height, I'm going to keep it 600 as well, just for now. And this is our window. And I'm going to go ahead and customize it a bit more. And I'm going to go ahead and go to properties again. I'm going to decrease the width to about 500. Increase the height to about 1000. Okay. That's looking a little bit better. All right. And now we can go ahead and paste that URL that we copied from Social Stream Ninja into the URL section. Okay, and there we go. So now we've pasted the URL. We can't see anything because it's on a black background, and we've hidden the menu. But if you do go back to Social Stream Ninja, and I open up any of these chats, and I go to say chat test 123 as a message, and as you can see, it's displaying right over here. So it displays, and look, the font is quite big. So if you want to adjust the font, we can go back here, the overlay. Let me try to decrease the font. And let's try this URL. So you can always experiment with it. Go back and change the URL. Everything else is set up. Go ahead and change the URL. Press OK. And let's do another test. Chat test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there you go. It has shown up, but it's extremely small. So let's play a little bit more with the font size. I'm going to go ahead and give it about 80 font size. Copy that URL again. Go back to OBS. I'm going to change that font size to about 80. And let's do another quick test. Font size 80. There we go. All right. And bam. So now we've decreased the font size. So all your chats are just going to show up. So this is one way of overlaying your chats on your live stream, right? Which is brilliant. Now, of course, this will continue on, but that's great. So your audience can actually see the chats directly on your live stream. So if you downloaded this live stream later on and uploaded it to different platforms such as YouTube, your YouTube video will actually have all the chats embedded right into it, which is excellent. But I want to take it a step further and talk a little bit about audience engagement, right? So let's actually go back to Social Stream Ninja, minimize this. So that's the overlay doc, which is nice. And I'm going to scroll down further to the feature chat overlay. Now, this is something that I really enjoy using. I use it a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and let's see if you can customize it a bit. I've got overlay, mechanics. I've got auto hide. I'm going to just remove the auto hide just for now. Okay. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. Okay, that's fine. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this URL. All right. Copy link. Go back to my OBS. But what we want to do is add another browser source. We want to call this feature chat. And now I'm going to remove that URL and paste this here. I'm going to give it a 1920 by 1080 for now. Since that's the size of my canvas. Control audio by OBS always if there's any audio that the browser source does output. And I'm going to press OK. Right? So now we've got our feature chat and we've got our chat overlay. Great. Now, how does the feature chat actually work? Let's experiment. Let me go back to Social Stream Ninja. Let's say hypothetically, someone or the other specifies a chat. So I'm going to say feature chat test. When I do that, as you can see, it does display in this overlay. However, it does show up in our consolidated chat as well, where we control it. Now, you can select, when we select that chat, it actually displays as a lower third on our live stream. So that is the beauty of actually having certain chats that when someone says something extremely interesting, it will actually show up directly in the live stream, right? So that's actually great, and that's what we want. That's brilliant. So now, look, you can actually do that for any of the chats. Now that we've got the browser source that's been added to OBS right here as the feature chat, we've got the browser URL. I'm going to go back to my Social Stream Ninja. I'm going to just select another chat right over here. And when I do that, as you can see, it has actually showed up as a lower third. So that actually increases the amount of engagement that you can provide during your live stream by highlighting certain people's chats. And that's kind of what excites people, right? So that's right in there. Great. Okay. Excellent. So now we've gone over overlaying the chats and the feature chat, and of course, consolidating all the chats into a single window, right? So that's what we've gone through. Brilliant. Now, I do want to take it one step further in this tutorial video, and I want to talk about chatbots. Social Stream Ninja does integrate with local and cloud-based LLMs, right? So Gen AI, right? And that's the craze at the moment. So let's talk about that real quick. So now how does it actually work? I'm going to go ahead and minimize some of these panels right here, so I don't want to have too many things open, keep things clean. So now the next thing I want to talk about is chatbots and AI services, right? So when you drop down the first one, it says you can configure an LLM. So in this tutorial, there are several LLMs. You could actually use several services, such as LLaMA. You could install a local LLM or local LLM provider. You could use ChatGPT if you've got an API key. You can use Gemini with an API key, DeepSeek, XAI, that's Grok, Bedrock, that's AWS Bedrock, Open Router, and a custom API if you had any other chat LLM that you wanted to use, your choice, right? But what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about LLaMA, right? So now when you do open this up, there is an installation guide. This actually walks you through how to install LLaMA, right? So let's actually go ahead and look at that. This is actually extremely easy to use. It looks really daunting, but it's very, really easy to use, right? So we just have to follow this guide. Now, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and go to this website. You want to go to Google Chrome, and you want to go ahead and open up LLaMA. And all you want to do is go ahead and download LLaMA. Right, so once you go ahead and download LLaMA, you want to go ahead and install LLaMA just the same way as you'd install it. I already have it installed on my computer, so I'm not going to go ahead and install it, but it's the same way that you install any other application, right? So that's great. Now, once you've done that, the next step is, now we've got a few options here. We can actually install a local LLM, which I have already. So all you would do is you'd open up your command prompt. And once you've opened up your command prompt, you could just say LLaMA pull llama 3 or Gemma 3, whichever you really want. I would recommend going with LLaMA llama 3. You don't have to type run. You could just say LLaMA pull llama 3, right? And when you do that, it's going to go ahead and install llama 3 on your computer. That's all well and good, but I'm actually going to show you a way how to use this LLM without actually using any resources on your computer, right? So I'm going to skip over all of these, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about one really important thing that you want to do to make sure that this works on your computer, right? So to make sure that llama or llama will work on your computer, you want to go and open up your Windows environment variables. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Edit system environment variables. Okay. And what we want to do is when we do open that up, we want to add this line to our environment variables. We want to say llama underscore origins, all in capital. And then for the value, we want to put a star, right? So this will actually, when you do this, the environment variable will work with both the standalone Social Stream Ninja app and the Chrome extension, right? So that's what I've gone ahead and done. I've opened up my environment variables, right? And I'm going to click on environment variables. And as you can see, I've typed in LLaMA underscore origins, and then I've put a star. So how do you do that? You click on new, and you type in the variable name, which is LLaMA underscore origins. You can type it out over here. And then for the variable value, just put in a star that you can find on your keypad. I'm not going to do it right now. I've already added it in. But that's what you want to do. And then press OK. All right. Once you do that, press OK again on this window. And you're done. Okay, so you want to make sure you do that. Now, once you've done that, that's all you need to do from a Windows side. We can go ahead and actually minimize this tutorial video. And you can close out of your command prompt. Right, so now that we are back in Social Stream Ninja, from the drop-down, select LLaMA Local. And now what you want to do is make sure that you type in http:// localhost 11434. That's the port that it's actually going to use on your local host. Now we can take a quick peek at the tutorial that it's given us. Once you've actually done that, it gives you some instructions right over here. So once you've actually gone ahead and installed LLaMA, it will be available, right? So you can actually go to this IP address. You could just copy this just to check if it is available and running. Copy this link and open up your Chrome browser and paste that link right over here. And it will tell you that LLaMA is running once you've installed it, right? So it'll be running, it'll run automatically. You can also look at it in your taskbar right here. You'll see LLaMA that's running. You can open up LLaMA as well, and that's what I've just done. So now you can see LLaMA is running. Great. And it's telling us when we actually go to localhost 11434, it tells us that LLaMA is running. That's really all we want. Now, look, like we tested before, like I demonstrated, you can actually go ahead and install a local LLM, which is LLaMA 3. So you could go and type in, open up command prompt, and you can go ahead and type LLaMA pull LLaMA 3. I'm not going to go ahead and pull it because I already have. I've already got LLaMA and LLaMA 3. But once you do that, it's already installed, right? And then you can go ahead and type LLaMA run LLaMA 3. So I'm going to go ahead and type, just to demonstrate how LLaMA works from the command prompt, I'm going to go ahead and type LLaMA run LLaMA 3. And now that I've already got it installed, it's going to go ahead and run LLaMA 3 on my computer. And shortly, we will be able to chat with LLaMA 3 right over here, saying, "Hello there, how are you today?" And LLaMA 3 is going to go ahead and respond based on the speed of your computer. It's going to go ahead and respond to you. And that's great. Now we're chatting with this AI bot, but this is locally hosted on our computer. But that's not the goal for today. The goal is to be able to use less resources of my computer and be able to talk to a chatbot that's a lot faster, right? So I'm going to go ahead and close out that window. So now, going back to Social Stream Ninja, in our drop-down menu, we've got LLaMA, that's local. We've added LLaMA API endpoint, which is basically the IP address, or you can just say localhost if you've hosted on the same computer that you're using Social Stream Ninja on, :11434. That's the port that it uses. Now, LLaMA model. Here's where what you can do is go ahead and once you've got LLaMA open, drop down. These are all the models. So as you can see, I have Gemma 3 with 1 billion parameters. I've got this installed locally, and I've got LLaMA 3, right? So let's demonstrate two things over here. Let's talk about LLaMA 3 since we were testing it. So I'm going to go ahead and select LLaMA 3. I'm going to change my model in Social Stream Ninja. I'm going to call it LLaMA 3. Okay, great. So now that we've got this LLM, we've added our details. I'm going to keep the LLM alive for about 30 minutes, which is more than enough. And then we drop down the second one, and you want to enable the LLM AI chatbots. Just make sure this is set to enabled. You want to give a customized bot name. So I'm going to call it MediaTek Bot, right? So that's the customized name that I'm giving this bot. And you also want to enable do not screen out any of the bot replies. So that means the all the bot replies will show up in your chat. All right, so you want to make sure that you enable this as well. Okay, and you want to give a trigger name to the bot. So I'm just going to call him bot, right? Just to keep it simple. That's his trigger name. Okay, now here's the interesting thing. When we go ahead and open up our Twitch chat, and I call, say, bot, how are you today? The bot is going to respond. But what's actually going to happen is that's going to use LLaMA 3 to actually respond to us. And now LLaMA 3 is installed on my computer, so it's going to take a little bit of time to trigger LLaMA 3. So as you can see, it took a bit of time, and MediaTek Bot, that's the name we actually gave it, which is right here. MediaTek Bot, right? And MediaTek Bot responded, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. It's great to be chatting with you. I'm ready to help you. So now you can talk to LLaMA 3 and you can ask it anything like, how far is the Earth from the moon? But we want to trigger it. So we want to say bot, right? That's the trigger word. And I'm going to ask it a question. Again, LLaMA 3 is going to take some time based on your computer, right? My computer, the one computer I'm using is a really basic AMD 8-core CPU, and it doesn't have a GPU. It's a mini PC, so it's going to take some time, right? And it's going to respond. So it's going to say, MediaTek bot is responding. Hey, MediaTek Live. The average distance from the Earth to the Moon is about X miles. And that's pretty cool fact, right? And that's how it kind of chats with you. And it will speak to anyone in your chat that actually mentions the word bot. But look, this has taken up resources of our computer, and it takes some time to respond as well. We want it to be responding really quickly, right? So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go back to LLaMA. Rather than using LLaMA 3, at the moment, I don't know if this is going to change, but at the moment, LLaMA is offering some free cloud LLMs that you can use, like this one right here, which is the GPT-OSS, which is 120 billion parameters. That's a big model, and it's allowing that for free. So I'm going to select that model right here. I'm going to go back to Social Stream Ninja, and I'm going to change the name of this model to GPT-OSS exclamation mark 120B dash cloud. Right? I'm going to call it that. I'm going to call it the same name that we see right over here. Right? So I've gone and added it in, and that's the model that we want to use. Right? Great. Okay, I'm going to close this out, and we're going to do another test. We're going to go ahead and open up Twitch, and we're going to say, bot, are you able to help me with my social studies, with my school social studies? And then we're just going to ask the new AI, and as soon as I do that, we've got a response right away. So it didn't take as long as LLaMA 3, because now the response is directly coming from LLaMA's bot in the cloud, right? So that's really our response that we've got right over here. And that's wonderful. They'll be glad to help me out with my social studies. What topic? And now I could say, but I need to study American history. Are you able to help me with this? And there you go. The bot is responding straight away saying absolutely, happy to help with American history, so on and so forth. Right? So that's really how you can use a chatbot that's quick using LLaMA. Right? Now you can actually go ahead and select other LLMs if you want. You can, if you've got a ChatGPT API, you got a Gemini API, you can actually go ahead and do that. But for this tutorial, I'm going to stick to LLaMA. Great. So guys, thanks so much for staying on and watching this tutorial. If you have any questions, comments, please place them in the chat or in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.